Hi, let me show you now what I prepared, what kind of exercises I prepared on the topic of the queen. Okay, so this is the most basic one that I would always test my students with. So find the fastest way to the red square. Good luck. Yeah, usually my students they would start, something like this. Yeah, but it's Queen, she's in a hurry. So, yeah, she can actually get to the square b2 in just two squares. So, it's important not to forget that she has the power of the rook and bishop. Yeah, so that's why going this way, right, would get the job done. Yeah, in just two moves. So, you can do it in just two. Next, so let's dominate the chessboard. Yeah, so four queens are already on the board. You have to find out where does the last queen stand. So all the squares are under attack. Okay, and here is the answer. So queen, the last one should be on e5. So here we have another domination. So in this case, there are three queens on the board, and now you have to place the rook and the bishop, so all the squares are under attack. So all these five pieces together, they dominate the chessboard. And the answer? So rook should be on the square d8, and the bishop is in the center on the square e5. Next, place three queens on the board so that blah 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 blah. First, that the most squares are attacked. And don't forget, a piece does not attack the square it stands on. So that the most squares are attacked. And the answer? Yeah, we have queen d4, queen e4, queen f4, so 54 squares are under attack in this case. But any position with three queens next to each other on the same file or rank with two of them on the central squares would suffice, yeah, would work. And B, so that the fewest squares are attacked. So hint hint, yeah, in this case we're probably not going to put them into the center, right? So we are going to put them into, yeah, I guess we're looking at the corners of the chessboard. So in this case, yeah, queen a1, queen b1, queen b2, 39 squares are under attack. So, the same position we can rotate, reflect, or reflected them, and yeah, we would get the same, yeah, 39 squares in total. Next, so that all dark squares are attacked. Wink wink, or yeah, hint hint. So probably we don't want to put them on light squares, right? So we have to place the queens on dark squares if we want to attack all the dark squares. So here is one example, one solution. Yeah, queen c5, queen e5, queen g5. It's also possible, let's say, if we, instead of placing them on the fifth rank, we place the queen on the fourth. So something like queen b4, queen d4, queen f4 would also work on. Let's use the e file now. Let's say queen e3, queen e5, queen e7, or on the D file we can say queen d2, queen d4, or queen d6. Yeah, so all these options, yeah, would work. And finally, that the fewest dark squares are attacked. So in this case, we are going to place the queens, I guess, on the opposite color, right? So something like queen b1, queen d1, queen f1. Other solutions are like queen f1, queen h1, and queen h3. Or it's even possible to, separate them a bit. So something like queen b1, queen b7, and queen f7 also works. Okay, now some kind of queen introduction to some kind of queen mazes. Yeah. So first we have to move the queen 5 times so that she goes the greatest distance. Yeah, measured by the number of squares, without crossing her own path. So if you go, let's say, queen a4, queen d4, queen a1, yeah, this would not work because you're crossing your own path. So what is the greatest distance? How many squares we can cover? And the answer, so we go h1, h8, a1, a8, and we end on g8. Not counting the starting square, we have 31 squares in total. Good job if you found it. Next. So here we have to move the queen 15 times so that she goes over every square on the chessboard, and we have to finish on f3, and again we're not allowed to cross our own path. And the answer is quite satisfying. The symmetry looks always so nice. Yeah. Okay, and next, Sam Lloyd is back, yeah, with his problems and puzzles. So here we have to move queen 14 times so that she goes over every square on the board, and we have to finish on h1, but this time we are allowed to cross our own path. So good luck. It's a tough one. Yeah, so here we have the answer. Next. Okay, this one is a classical one, very famous 8 queens problem. So we have to place 8 queens on the board so that no 2 queens attack each other. Yeah, it's I guess it's not difficult to place 7 queens, but then it's the problem. The last one is the problem. Oh, I cannot put it here. Oh, she's under attack. These 2 queens are under attack. Oh, I cannot put it here. These 2 queens are now under attack. So yeah, take your time. You will need it for this one. I just simply actually memorized one of the solutions. And yeah, here it comes. So I memorized because the queens are basically placed like, the knights jump away from each other basically. So okay, you still don't know how the knight moves. We'll talk about the knight in the near future. So yeah, this is one of them. This puzzle has 12 solutions basically in total. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, 92 actually distinct solution if we don't count the symmetry operation of reflection and rotation of the board. Okay, and finally, proper madness, another Sam Lloyd puzzle. So now we're placing 16 queens on the board, but these queens, no 3 are allowed to be in line in any possible direction. So basically we cannot place 3 queens on the same file, rank, or diagonal. Good luck. The answer, there are many solutions, but this is the only one in which 2 queens are in the middle of the board, in the center. So you can double check, check the files. 222 should be no 3 queens. Ranks, on each rank only 2 queens, and all the diagonals, only 2 queens are on each diagonal. So it works. It's correct. Okay, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for your support, and see you in the next video. Bye bye. Bye.